While monitoring meteor showers, an astronomer noticed a terrifying sight. An unnamed meteor suddenly teleported into the monitoring range. He immediately began entering a series of codes to predict the meteor's trajectory, but what he saw next completely stunned him. The comet was the size of Mount Everest, traveling at a speed of 26 meters per second, heading straight toward Earth. In a panic, he quickly uploaded the data to the National Space Agency and then grabbed a CD to back up the information on his computer. But the computer notified him of a server malfunction, and his email couldn't be sent. In desperation, he grabbed the backup CD, packed the files into an envelope, and sped off toward the space agency. On the way, he tried calling the agency, but all he got was a frustrating automated robot answering system. At that moment, a truck driver ahead of him, casually drinking soda, smoking, and singing, suddenly swerved and knocked the astronomer off a cliff. A year later, the US president suddenly called a press conference to inform the public about a comet that might enter Earth's orbit. The comet had originally been orbiting in its own path when it was accidentally struck by another star, causing a billiard ball effect that altered its course. This comet, with a mass of 500 billion tons and the size of New York City, was now on a collision course with Earth, set to crash into the planet in about a year. The news sent shockwaves through the crowd, and people immediately questioned why the president waited so long to announce this. The president explained that he feared the public would panic if they knew too early. But the United States had not been unprepared. Together with Russia, they had developed a spacecraft named Savior to intercept the comet. US and Russian astronauts had been training for months, and they were ready to launch to stop the comet. A few days later, the 6 astronauts were finally in space. The spacecraft was armed with 8 nuclear bombs, which they planned to deploy on the comet's surface to destroy it. 5 months later, the spacecraft arrived near the comet. As the astronauts gazed at the comet up close, they were all stunned by the sight. It was far more terrifying in person than they had imagined. However, the astronauts now faced a daunting challenge. In order to land on the comet's surface, they would have to pass through the comet's blue tail. No one knew how dangerous that might be.